Maigavanen and well met. I'm Arakir Galadirthan, head of Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to our Northern Dúnedain campaign, the reclamation of Arnor in Northern Eriador. Where we last left off, unfortunately, we had a rather disappointing battle of Carndum. We were attacked just outside of Carndum, and so there was no battle in Carndum at all. I noticed that the viewer levels spiked for the Carndum episode. So I apologise that I let you all down in that there was actually no battle for Carndum. But we have captured it. We have claimed that section. I'm awaiting the arrival of the Angmar Doom Stack, which so far has not yet come. Yes. We're holding on to the bridge there with Boron the Chivalrous, and there's an army in Carndum that currently doesn't really know what to do with itself. But we shall head out and try and mop up some more of Angmar. The Dwarves of Eredluin, as we have seen, are pushing in from the west. I'm pushing in from the east. Angmar are now in a pincer, and I'm also claiming the rebel provinces that dot the land north of Bree and Anuminas. So we shall carry on where we always leave off and end the turn. We will give one turn of consolidation in Carndum before we press on. Now, a lot of people have asked me that, well, not a lot of people, but someone mentioned, and I did indeed say that I would talk about the Eagles. And someone has asked when I would talk about the Eagles, so I thought now is an apt time. But I'm a little loath to talk about the Eagles because I'm sure this video or my message box will be flooded with people telling me how my information is incorrect, and they'll give better reasons as to why the Eagles don't fly Frodo to Mount Doom. But the number one reason that the Eagles do not fly Frodo to Mount Doom, and why it's wrong that everyone's like, oh, just get the Eagles to do it, is essentially through fear. There aren't that many eagles. That's the first point to note. There isn't a storm of eagles. There's not hundreds of them. And as we've already seen, there are fell beasts and other evils in the skies around Mordor, not to mention the Guardians of Mordor itself. And not to mention, indeed, Sauron. Whilst still only being the Eye, obviously, he is capable of great malice. And just the presence of him alone is enough to strike fear into many hearts. So the eagles predominantly don't fly there because they would likely die. They would likely be killed, they'd be spotted, they'd be attacked, they'd be harassed. There's the Nazgul to contend with as well. There's so many threats that the eagles, it's just not worth it for them. And also you have to consider that the eagles are a little bit like the dwarves in their own personal beliefs. They're very distant and removed from Middle-earth. And they don't really share a particular bond to the peoples and trials and tribulations that the peoples of Middle-earth go through. So they're not going to be that likely to help anyway, because they just don't really care that much. They're only really called to action when someone who has direct knowledge of their great lord Manwë is kind of in threat. And this brings us on to the third and reasonably up for debate reason, and that is that the eagles, lords of the sky, are servants of the great Valar named Manwë. He's the lord of the skies, the wind and the air. His seat of power is on top of Mount Tanaketil in Aman, and he is the greatest of the Valar, save arguably for Melkor, who is now banished, obviously. And so without Melkor present, Manwë is the greatest of the Valar, and the eagles are his servants. They're his messengers. They're his servants. They follow him. And he has directly stated that the Valar the Valar aren't really to get involved in the affairs of Middle-earth. They are kind of removed from it. They're going to leave it to its fate. They're going to leave it to whatever. And as such, he's not particularly keen on the eagles directly intervening in the affairs of Middle-earth. So the third reason that the eagles could possibly not transport Frodo is that it's almost in direct contravention of the orders from their lord Manwë. Because, of course, if the Valar felt that Sauron was such a problem and they should really worry about the effects of Middle-earth, they could easily just come back with a force of maybe even the Vanyar from Aman, with the power of the Valar, and they could essentially quite easily overthrow Sauron and save Middle-earth. But that's not in their nature, and that's also not what they want. They want to leave Middle-earth to whatever it does. They've been here, they've seen the poisonous nature that men can take, how easily swayed they are. They've not really forgiven Middle-earth, essentially, for Ar-Pharazôn's great betrayal by sailing to Aman to try and claim it for the Númenóreans. And so they're kind of leaving us to our fate, and the eagles are an extension of that. They're not intervening because the Valar have essentially said, don't do anything, leave them to it. But the biggest reason is purely that they would likely die, they'd be killed, so there's nothing really in it for them. If Sauron were to return and he'd take over Middle-earth, what do the eagles care? They wouldn't be found out, they wouldn't be killed, and if they really needed to, I'm sure there would be a way to get them passage to Aman, so they're not too bothered about the affairs themselves anyway. So in a nutshell, that's kind of the reason why the Eagles don't fly Frodo to Mordor. Now the best one to say is always that Manwë doesn't really want anyone to intervene in Middle-earth, and the Eagles are his servants, so they're following that order. But
My lord.
that one's obviously
Yes.
quite a lot to talk about. So often you can just say that the Eagles would die,
Without
so there's just
question.
nothing in it for them.
Tomorrow's journey planned out.
But feel free to write in the comments and tell me all of your theories and why that's incorrect. I relish the
Your
chance to
orders,
read
my lord.
those.
Yes, my lord. Your orders, my lord.
But that's my understanding of it anyway. And all we can give is our understanding of things,
Yes,
for are
my
we
lord.
not all but human?
We shall engage.
So that's the main
shall
reason why the English don't
prevail.
go. I don't find that
Yes.
particularly interesting, to be honest. Peter Jackson is the reason that everyone's like, oh, why don't the Eagles just do it? So often you can just chalk it down to his design choices, or what I tend to call it. And then that leaves you with you don't have any issue then. Oh, retraining of them, get some of them in, yes please. We'll go straight in with a military camp, then get a university in there. And then an Arnorian hall. What's our money situation? 2,000. That's not very much, is it? But anyway, back to the game. I shall push west and try and take Angul before Ered Luin does, who seem to be chasing down this guy. I don't really have the defence in Carndum now to actually hold off that army, so hopefully the Dwarves of Ered Luin will sort that out. And these guys here, I'm not really sure what they're doing, but if they attack Shadun, then we'll just turn around and clear them. It's got a wall, so they'll have to besiege it for at least one turn, so he's directly protecting Shadun by just being near it. Over here we've got an extra unit of Dúnedain. You can
My lord.
oh, you might as well head over there and join them actually, as long as you don't retreat.
March to
Don't
exhaustion,
rebel,
continuing
sorry.
later.
Otherwise it's going remarkably well. As you also saw, my army is moving into position to secure the river of the Gwathlo River, sorry, and take Northern Tharbad. But I do feel that it's not going to be long until the forces of Bree and the forces of Ened Wyth go to war, and I'll be faced with a stark decision. Do I join with Bree or do I join with Ened Wyth? As you can probably imagine, I'm going to join with Bree, but hopefully when I attack Ened Wyth, the Bree landers will side with me and they won't leave me in the lurch. But time will tell. Time will tell. Carndum. The Carndum battle map is quite good actually, so it's quite disappointing that we didn't get to fight on it because it's good fun.
Honor,
Oh, they didn't even
victory.
sally out.
My lord, our courage and honor have conquered.
Oh, and they're beginning their attack. The fools. I am massively
The enemy has surrounded
outnumber
us.
them.
We are besieged.
I shall continue tomorrow.
Oh, Lorien's under that. Oh yeah, there's an invasion on Lorien. Ah, they return to Gandalf, where
Orders.
they will not
As you
win there,
wish.
so
We
that's
can
good.
go
Faction
no
announcements.
further today.
Ah, Calamir has come of age. In Fenris Druinen, no less. Which had a load of units up for training. Let's get a school in there, might as well. Has everywhere built everything that we can, and we've got all this money going. Yeah, we'll get a catapult maker. Northern Tharbad, low tax rate. I should like. Oh, we can rebuild the Bridge of Tharbad and get the Tharbad Royal Guard, but that's we're gonna need to not build anything else to get that, unfortunately. So get a few other things in there first. The army can immediately save for. Oh, we don't have very many archers though, actually. Oh no, we've got loads of archers. Oh, but we'll leave those anyway. Head straight for that
As
one and
you
begin the
command.
siege there.
We shall prevail.
We'll see what the
Yes.
Dunlendings do now. Aragthur's got quite the defence, hasn't it? Which is good,
Be
because the
gone.
only other way across the river is next to Aragthur, so have we got two generals?
Your
Ah,
orders, my
Calamir.
lord.
Calamir's just come of age, of course,
Yes,
of course.
my lord.
You head to Aragthur and govern there for a short while.
Yes.
Now, Fenestruinen. 3 free upkeep, 1 free upkeep. Do we get any extra upkeep from our Swordmasters Guild? No, we don't. So we get 4 free upkeep. So let's get some Arthedain men at arms because they're incredibly strong. The first nod to the old realm of Arnor. Get some Blade Masters, Dúnedain archers, and Dúnedain cavalry. We'll completely replace the garrison here, I think. And as Fenestruinen likes us so much, we'll take that whole army with us.
With honor.
It'll be a while before, but 170%. Unless the Misty Mountains come strolling down and try and take the unclaimed region, we'll be alright there. Morvatarth, nothing to do. Kameth Bryn, school and a baluster maker. Neither are particularly needed. And you've got your full garrison. So all that remains is to auto that. Look, they didn't even
We have triumphed.
return to the bridge to stop Maldush coming across, because he actually is a threat.
Glorious victory.
That'll get us a turn there. Who's in Angul? Nagluk the Fat. He's got a pretty cool picture though. 2 units of Scourge Raiders. We've come to Angmar at a bad time. Another unit of Scourge Raiders. And how are we over there? We're doing alright. Let's go and get that diplomat to Dol Amroth so that we can get the mission completion.
Your orders. As you wish. What is it you wish to discuss?
Yes. How does all that take you?
I do not believe
scum.
another worthy proposal there.
About an alliance and trade
How
rights.
could we refuse another
Some map
proposition?
information.
We're happy to listen.
Dúnedain the Mighty.
Good to see we could reach an. You have further.
Doesn't really make any difference, but we'll try and get some
Please
military
let us
access.
know.
No,
We cannot. An
none of
honour
it.
and a pleasure. Farewell.
We completed the mission and 2 units of Woodland Hunters at our capital. Dol Amroth are not doing very well at all. We'll keep them there and we'll move them out when the city is empty, when the city's got the other units, because it's not ideal to leave a city defenceless, of course. If we could send them up there where they'd be much more useful. But no one's going to attack a Numenast unless Ered Luin turn on me, and that's quite unlikely because the AI never really goes to war with its allies. It doesn't have the ability to break alliances with its diplomat, which is the requirement to go to war. So the plan now is to finish off Angmar, which shouldn't take too much longer. And then once Angmar are defeated, we'll cross the river in force, and we will sweep Dunland away in a few successful battles. And then we're faced with a stark choice to hit Isengard with all we've got in an attempt to save Rohan, because Rohan are losing. Or we turn on Ered Wyth in an attempt to save Gondor, who are also losing. Obviously we share a bloodkin to Gondor, so I'm more inclined to attack Ered Wyth than I am to attack Isengard. And I'm sure Isengard will do us the honour of attacking us anyway, so... Khandun built its library. Look at that, that looks cool. Can't train anything good because it's just a Khandun, but it looks cool. What's down here? Oh, he's getting some units. Where did he just get units from? Not from Litash, surely. Maybe we should just crush Maldush and then turn on him. How long's Angsul? Oh, perfect
Yes,
opportunity to take Angsul with our allies. Captain Gurn's going to be joining us. So we'll fight this battle, which will likely lead to a great victory with the Dwarves. Oh, look how much siege equipment they've got. Good lord. That is a good example of a Dwarven army. Quite a lot of skirmishers to keep the enemy away from your siege equipment. In fact, their entire army is basically skirmishers. There's a few warriors in there, but otherwise it's almost all skirmishers.
Muster your courage, men.
And then a lot of siege equipment, because siege equipment are your cavalry. Or siege equipment is your cavalry. I don't know which one of those two is correct, I'm afraid. I've seen that picture somewhere else. I think it might be in Guild Wars 2. It might be used as the capital of the human realm. I can't quite remember, but I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, that's the picture in Third Age Total War. So that was cool when I noticed that. But let's start the deployment. I'm not sure that we're going to even need to bother with our siege equipment if our allies are going to be coming with all that they've got. Unfortunately, there aren't unique orc castles. So as you can see, unfortunately, there is a church because the orcs are Catholic. And that's never been edited, but their castles are just black stoned castles, so at least they've been edited to be all black and whatnot, but essentially they are just normal Med 2 castles. But I am remarkably tempted to come and stand on this side, and then essentially we'll win this by getting the dwarves to do it for us. I'm very keen with that idea, so we're going to do exactly that. We're going to move our entire army over here. And then if the dwarves don't bring down the gate and the wall, then we will. For now, let's speed it up. Oh, there's only one gate, isn't there? It's around the other side. Please tell me you're going to fire your siege equipment, or this entire thing is in vain. So let's have everyone stand still where they are for the moment. Moment of truth. Ah, perfect. So drop the rams. And if everyone could come and stand behind them, or just stand here actually. Keep it on ×6. Oh, they're mortars. They're using their mortar shot ability. Don't know why. Maybe they don't have the ability to change. Maybe that's the original selection. Either way, we'll be through in a second. I can only hope, anyway. This is going to be such an annoying battle. We're going to go back and pick up the siege equipment and then walk all the way around. Come on, drop the wall. Oh, they're doing a number on those Scourge Raiders on the wall. No, you're not attacking the units, are you? Oh, you are, you stupid dwarves. How are we going to get in if you don't attack the wall? The enemy has sallied out. What? What is this madness?
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Who is that? What are they? Warg Riders. Why have we got people running? Why have they sallied out? They're idiots. They'll do nothing but die out here. Where's Gandalf? Charge into those Warg Riders. Please bring down that wall. 2 more shots, surely. That one is essentially down.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
They're not going to do it, are they? Oh, right. Secondary plan in effect. Totally did not keep an eye on my map there. Good advice. Keep an eye on the map, and then you'll realise that the enemy's running out to meet you. Although they've now lost 50% of their force, and we've only lost 4%. Oh, now we're bringing down the wall.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Come on, finish it off. Finish it off. Someone finish it off. Oh, I don't like how those rotate. I should change the keys, really. Okay, who are you? Cardinal Archers, pick up that ram. Are you going to pick the ram up, or are we just going to have a little walk around? There we are. We are prepared. Who are you? Eredluin warriors. Oh, are they coming with us? Oh, but they coming to get the rams because they realised that they were stupid and they didn't bring down the wall. Someone's still firing. How did you destroy it? You destroyed your own catapult, didn't you? I am at a loss. They're shooting bolts into the ground. Oh well, it's up to us then. Keep it at ×6 so that it's not too boring to watch. I'm not really sure what other things to talk about with regards to the lore, really. Obviously I tried to keep it reasonably factually relevant to the faction I'm playing. Obviously I've discussed quite a lot of Arnor at length, and their king line and the issues that surrounding Arnor. Perhaps it'd be interesting to note that the final king of Arnor, Arvedui, the last king as his name would suggest, he attempted to reclaim the throne of Gondor, but seeing that humans essentially are corrupt and never see their and when I say humans I mean humans still even now. I mean we all look out for number one, let's be honest. And the councillors of Gondor, like the ruling council, headed up by the Steward, didn't think that a king who essentially had never even been to Gondor, or he may have travelled there a few times, but someone who's not really native, no one knows who he is, having him as their king is not really ideal. So they pushed for Arnor to become the king, and now Arnor did have royal blood in his line, so he wasn't an outsider or anything. People respected him because he was a very well-known general who'd won some solid battles for Gondor. And he was elected as the king instead. But in a change to human morality, he was actually good and wise ruler, and he sent a message to Arvedui essentially saying, to the effect of, basically, I'm sorry that they elected me as king, but I will come and do what I can to help you in the north, because by this time Arvedui had already sent for aid, because the Witch King was coming, and it, to all intents and purposes, it looked like the Witch King was about to destroy Arnor. So he sent this message to Arnor, and Arnor apologised that he'd been elected instead of Arvedui, and he said, I will come as fast as I can. And to his great credit, he did. He defeated the last few troubles that he had in Gondor, and he formed a huge army and sailed north in an attempt to save Arvedui. However, he didn't manage to get there in time, and Arvedui was already dead by the time he arrived, and that's when he links up with the elves and takes down the Witch King. But it is interesting that Arnor's fate could have been completely different if Gondor had just allowed Arvedui to come and rule as their king, and maybe Arnor would have survived with the added influx of men, troops and support that Gondor would have provided. But instead, of course, they rejected it, and they just elected a general as their king instead. And those are the final frantic attempts of Arnor to try and stay alive in the last few years of their
The battering ram has done its work.
We're through. How are our archers doing? They are getting shot. I forgot it was on ×6. How are these guys doing? Who is shooting you? Well, waste all of your arrows, because once we're in there, arrows aren't going to be that useful. Right, we'll send Gandalf in to finish it off, because his cavalry retinue bodyguard are remarkably strong. So
the battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
Sorry, it wasn't Arnor that was elected as the general, it was Earnil. Earnil II, who was elected as the general, who was elected as their king. There's only 7 of those score traders left. Look at our units breaking through the wall. Just charge through, just charge through. And Earnor was Earnil's son. So many names sound exactly the same that when you're describing these things to others, you're getting names mixed up left, right and centre. Have you all shot your arrows? Oh, there's only 12 of them left. That was an unnecessary death. But oh well, this army is won't face very much threat. It's just the Doom Stack. The Doom Stack still hasn't arrived, so I don't know what to expect from that. Right, Gandalf, continue your press. So Earnil was the general who had won great victory, and he'd won it against Harad and the Wain Riders. So he had to face attacks from Harad and the Wain Riders. The Wain Riders came from the from the regions around Run, and they were known for being chariot-wielding warriors. And he had to defeat both of those before he could help Arnor. And he sent Earnur north in his place. And it's Arnor who sailed north and aided the Arnorians, and then eventually died, as I've already discussed, at the hands of the Witch King, because in the battle of the elves and Angmar and Gondor, the Witch King screams of terror frightened Arnor's horse, and it on the battlefield it looked like he was running away, and this great attack on his honour essentially meant that he never forgot that, and years later he agreed to a duel with the Witch King in Minas Morgul, and he was never seen again. But he was sent. Earnil sent him in his place, and it was because before Earnil II, Onderhir of Gondor was killed fighting those same Wain Riders that Earnil had to deal with, and that was when Arvedui staked his claim to the throne. And the steward Pelendur was the most outspoken advocate of not having Arvedui as their king. What have we got left here? There's 79% of them in 187 Goblin Band. Oh, the Orc bodyguards are still alive. So whilst Gandalf might do quite well, he's
the battle is very much in our favour.
Likely to take, well, he can take losses, but as long as he doesn't die, I suppose. If we start losing too many, we'll pull out, but the Orc bodyguards could be a threat. Oh, and those are those... there's always a general in Angmar, and I've not been able to figure out what the cause is. But he starts the game with normal Misty Mountain bodyguards. But I've looked through the files, and he shouldn't. So I think the Turn 1 auto expansion, some of the generals that are created from that have Misty Mountain bodyguards instead of Angmar bodyguards. But it's an interesting little twist, so it makes it seem like they're mercenaries almost, so we'll leave them there. Oh no, we've taken so long trying to count on the dwarves. Gandalf, charge through the other side.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
And hit them in the rear. Oh, we're not going to do it, are we? Hopefully we'll get a draw instead of a defeat, though. Taken far too long. The dwarves have... Oh, I've just not been monitoring it. I'm just awful at this game, people. I apologise.
The day is done, and our enemies have command.
Defeat. Do jog on. We killed 1,048. Captain Gurner barely lost anyone. He's not pulling his weight. So in a battle that I was hoping to essentially sacrifice the Dwarves of Eredluin to claim that castle, I've ended up losing more men, and we haven't even won. What's the point of having all that siege equipment if all you do with it is damage walls instead of destroy them?
We are disgraced.
Stupid dwarves.
Fall back and retreat.
Oh well, we'll get it on the next time.
Your orders,
Sorry,
my
I'm
lord.
dropping metal lids all over the shop. Well, that was unfortunate.
Yes, my lord.
Not exactly how I was hoping that this... Oh, Chieftain Yagthak. Dunland's chieftain's out on the prowl. So even better that Calamir is
Your
heading to
orders, my
Aragur.
lord.
He might be needed. 3 turns till they're available, so we will take those extra guys in light of this new fact. Otherwise, it's not going too badly. So I
Yes,
shall.
my lord.
Oh no, let's move in on there.
command,
Auto it.
we
Kill them
will
all.
triumph.
That's 99 men. Kill 239.
Honourable, glorious victory.
Right, they will probably
is
now
no
all
glory
group up,
in
but
hiding like this, my lord.
if we can group them all up, we can finish them off, and then that removes them as a threat. If we just keep holding on the bridge, then nothing will ever change. So we got another unit in there, so that'll be alright to hold on for a little while. We'll take those two out, see if they can merge. Yes, they can. That's always useful. And we'll wait. Maybe we won't bother with Angul. I suppose the Dwarves of Eredluin can take it.
My lord.
But that will conclude, I believe, what is episode 18 of the Northern Dúnedain. And unfortunately, it's just mopping up Angmar at the moment. So even though it's not been wildly entertaining, I hope for you it has been wildly
Your
entertaining.
orders, my lord.
I've been Arnor,
We can go no
the head of
further,
Divide and
my lord.
Conquer. And as usual, if you have any questions, do please put them in the comments or head to Total War Centre and speak to us there. But for now, I do wish you all the best, and Navarden Aden Pedimad, and farewell.